Hi everyone, welcome to TGIF, another Friday, another episode. A question which comes many times from customers is, hey, we have our developers and we're empowering them with, let's say, a GitHub Copilot. What should be their approach to become AI ready, AI first developers? I thought I will speak to an expert who's done the transition himself to gain some tips on how best to become AI first developer. It's a pleasure to welcome Shrikant and Shankaran for a short conversation. Srikantan, welcome to TGIF.
Yeah, hi Sandeep, good to see you again.
Wonderful. So quickly, Srikantan, I've seen you personally firsthand. How you transitioned from writing code yourself to use a pair program, which is Copilot Chat, and then a peer programmer, which is Agent Mode. What's been experience so far?
Yeah, so when the agent chat was available in GitHub Copilot, definitely it was great, buddy, and the fact that I could ask those questions and then it helped me solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But then I was very happy when it was there. But then when the agent mode came in, so then that's when my eyes are open to the fact that hey, we can do much more with agent mode, and the fact that a lot of things which you may have had to do yourself otherwise, but the agent mode just go ahead and does all of that. Autonomously going create those necessary files and then implementing that code.
Right.
In the chat mode, you may have to sort of do that yourself, the thinking and how to split stuff and all that, how to sort the whole thing out might have been an ordeal. But then agent mode was really a song, and the fact that I could just say, and then it could just go ahead and implement the best practices and then give me the outcome from there. The thing that really stands out in mind is that recently I had to work on this project where I had built this tab agent that we're using at Innovation Hub, which was built it was deployed using the bot framework of Microsoft, and then you're deprecating it now. And then the roadmap is for us to go to Microsoft 365 Agents SDK.
Right.
And the fact that I already invested so much time there, I wasn't inclined to re-engineer and sort of discover and learn and do all of that. It seemed like a very, it seemed like grunt work to me. But then I threw this problem to the agent mode in GHCP and said, can you help me with this? And the fact that that agent was, that SDK was in preview, there was no documentation, and I was at least inclined to pursue it. But then I just gave it a shot, and the agent mode went to the SDK and then looked to the libraries and then discovered what had to be changed and what changes had to be done. It just went and implemented. The surprising thing is I didn't have to test it. I just had to run it, and then it just ran, and I didn't have to worry about it. So that really was it's a revelation, and the fact that really saved me a lot of time that day.
Brilliant. So in the past, code completion decision was your task.
Yeah.
Now there's autonomy in doing that via your peer, which is in agent mode.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So quickly now, let's talk about a few tips. I know you've kind of gone through it in a much profound fashion. Now, if you would offer a few tips, let's say 3 tips to a developer, now you're basically empowering that person with that persona with, let's say, GHCP agent mode. So your 3 tips for them to use it in the most constructive fashion. So what are your 3 tips?
Yeah, the first that really comes to mind is that the agent mode is great, but still if the prompts that you provided it doesn't really define those boundaries very clearly, it's possible that it may go pursue some line of thinking which is not what you would otherwise want. At times it doesn't know what all goes into that project before it needs to make those changes. I'm talking about a brownfield project scenario. So it's always a good thing to define instructions. Okay, so in fact, you can use the agent itself to look at the entire lay of the land in that project and then come out with those architecture design practices that were used, so that when you ask some questions of it to make some changes, it keeps those things in mind automatically and not really go off on a tangent and do something which is totally detrimental to your interest.
So the first one is define the guardrails which the agent should be adhering to. So that any questions you ask, it sticks to the guardrails and you're in the boundary conditions.
Right.
Wonderful. That's number 1. Let's move on. Next one.
The next one is this. So even though vibe coding is quite popular these days, and then I also do it a lot of times. When I'm a bit lazy to give too much of thought and attention to what's happening, I just lazily give that command and then see what really unfolds. Well, it's great for simple tasks, but then when I want to build a serious application, you give those prompts, and then it's good for you to be aligned with this line of thinking. You'll see what it is thinking and how it is, and then you'll spot something which is not exactly what you want, and then you pause it then and there and say, hey, I think this is not what I want, and for these reasons, I want you to go in a different direction. So that kind of, you need to keep in sync with how it is thinking and executing, so that you don't end up with something which is not exactly what you're looking for.
Wonderful. That means, following line of thinking of a language model, so that you don't get derailed in view of the outcome you're expecting.
True.
Wonderful. That's second one. Great one, Shrikant. Next one. Anything else?
Yeah, the next thing is, say at times you get some recommendations and then you like, sometimes you don't like them. It's always good to choose between different models. I use
Okay.
Claude Sonnet a lot. I
Okay.
really like what it's really
Right.
helped me a lot.
Right.
And then at times I use GPT-5 Mini as well. And then
Okay.
I see that, hey, for some problems, let me swap the models now. Let me see what I have, what is there in store for me. And then I get some pleasant surprises there. So it's always
Wow.
good to swap between different models and see, and then you get the best of all the worlds there, and then you can actually.
So you're saying initially you had a thinker along with you working.
Yeah, exactly.
You switch to different model and see, you know what, okay, let me ask a different person. It's almost like
Yeah.
switching, you talking to some other colleagues and saying, you know what, we're stuck with this problem. Can you look here into and tell us, what's the best foot forward?
Exactly. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome. So great, Shikhar. 3 tips. Number one is, of course, define instruction set as guardrails before you start using agent mode. Number 2, follow line of thinking so that, you know what, you don't get derailed on outcome. Number 3, if you basically are not getting the desired output, so switch the thinker, so that switch the model so that you can get a different perspective.
True, that's true.
Awesome. So this is wonderful, Shikhar. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thanks
sharing
so
these
much,
tips. And for all viewers today, as you heard from us, if you want to transition from being a developer to super developer, that means you've been empowered with a GitHub Copilot agent mode and you want to stay productive, these 3 tips are supremely valuable. With that, thank you so much for watching this episode. Keep watching TGIF. A wonderful Friday and great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye everyone.